Well, this game certainly is making headlines. Given how upset I've been with the Pokemon Company's handling of Pokemon, thought I would go over Palworld as well. And I must say, I'm glad this exists, even if it's not something that I actually like. And I will essentially just give my opinions on this and where I think this is going to go. So for those who don't know, Palworld is a combination of multiple games. For one, it's an open world survival game, kind of like Ark, but it also has creature capture mechanics very similar to Pokemon. And then it has some weird factory automation, so I guess you could say it's like Satisfactory, Pokemon, and Ark, all thrown into one game. That's kind of weird, but that also is part of what gives it such an immediate appeal. And that's probably why it's so popular. Just looking at the game on the surface, it's using a popular game format, which is open world survival, throwing Pokemon onto it, which is another popular concept, while also making the models similar enough to Pokemon that to a casual observer, it's really difficult to tell the difference between a PAL and a Pokemon, unless you actually know the Pokedex, because the art style is surprisingly close. It's the closest I've seen from a Poke-clone, so to speak. Because even games like Temtem do not have the art style so close to Pokemon like Palworld does. And then of course you can give your pals guns, because why not? So it has very eye-catching mechanics that draw a lot of attention to itself that is causing it to absolutely crush Steam charts right now. And I think the developers are quite clever here, having curated this experience in such a way that it's hard to not want to play this game. But part of its appeal is also part of the problem, but I'm also okay with it at the same time. So let's get into this. I have this article brought up here from Eurogamer, and I'm sure you can tell from the title, this is a critical review of the game. And I'm gonna be honest, I actually agree with a lot of what this article's talking about here. And obviously there's some strong critiques here saying that it's absolute rubbish, so on and so forth. So in essence, this article is calling out Palworld as being a cheap copy-paste game that just throws a bunch of stuff together and doesn't have any kind of individuality to it, which I can see that. But that's also part of why people like it so much, because it's very familiar while also being built on tried and true ideas. But as I said earlier, that's part of the problem. It's a mashup of multiple genres and multiple game styles. Not inherently bad, but the execution is uncreative at best. But this dev team has made it quite clear that originality is not what they were going for here, and you can see that in this quote that I've highlighted in blue. This is a dev team that takes ideas from other successful things and puts their own little spin on it. Let's be fair, a lot of modern games are inspired by other games because original ideas are getting increasingly more difficult to come up with. So it makes sense that this dev team is not particular about originality. But I think the problem here with Palworld specifically is that it's so obvious it's not trying to be original at all. Just the art style alone, to me, kind of screams that. And even just in this screenshot here, if you didn't know your Pokedex well, this looks like one of those fake Mon games where they just throw Pokemon assets into Unreal Engine and call it a day. And again, I think that's kind of what they were going for. And you can see in some of the Dex entries for Palworld, they're hitting on all the memes that have surfaced around Pokemon for a while now. And I think they have taken some of those memes a bit too far, but at the same time, that is the point of this game. That's also my biggest problem with it, because it feels more like a call out than it does an original concept or a game. Because of that, it really doesn't have much of any appeal to me. And I would even go so far as to say it's kind of disgusting as a game. But I don't hate that it exists. And that is because Nintendo, or the Pokemon Company, is watching this game. This is probably the first time that the Pokemon Company has actually seen some real competition. I mean, we've seen Pokemon clones forever now, but none so immediately successful as Palworld. This statement from the Pokemon Company is a very interesting one and is not the usual Nintendo shutdown of copyright infringement that we're used to seeing. Even the Pokemon mod for Palworld was shut down almost instantly, but they're taking this much more cautiously, and I think the reason for that is they don't have a lot of grounds to stand on for a lawsuit. Because while pals look similar to Pokemon, they're not actually Pokemon. They're just really close, and there's some very obvious similarities between several of them. It doesn't take a lot of investigation to see the inspiration for a lot of the pals. But at the same time, on the surface, there's not enough there for Nintendo or the Pokemon Company to just shut it down instantly, and they're taking this much more cautiously than normal because of that. However, there is a world where Palworld could be absolutely destroyed, and that would be if the pals were made with AI. Now, there's no proof of this at the moment. We'll see how things develop in the future. But if Palworld really did use artificial intelligence to craft most of their pals, that is going to be a big problem, because generative AI that can build out such things are trained on assets that already exist. And AI has been a copyright infringement nightmare ever since generative AI showed up. So if pals are made with AI, based on the models, it's extremely obvious that this AI was trained on Pokemon assets. And if that ever ended up being the case, Palworld would be completely shut down, and they would have no means of defending themselves. But that has to be proven, and there's a good chance they didn't do that, and they just had actual artists actually make models. Given this statement, it is not out of the realm of possibility that pals were made with AI. And it's the viewpoint of the development team that has me a bit concerned about this game. Because if any dev team was going to use generative AI to just make their own Pokemon, so to speak, this is the dev team to do it. So I think it will be very interesting to see how this ends up working out. But what I like about Palworld is that it has caused the Pokemon Company to think about it. But I'm questioning the kind of message that they're sending here. In a way, this could be a wake-up call for the Pokemon Company to get their act together and make better Pokemon games. At the same time, the fact that the Pokemon clone that's getting popular is very lifeless and just an amalgamation of popular ideas thrown in what appears to be a relatively half-baked game. I know it's early access, but let's be real. Early access doesn't mean anything these days. Every game's early access, but it shares a similar half-baked feeling to that of actual Pokemon games. So in that context, I don't actually know if this is enough to make Pokemon make better games. In fact, this may give them more evidence that all they have to do is make the game fun, and it doesn't matter how broken it is. It doesn't matter how cheap the world feels, how out of place the assets may look. Just as long as the game's fun, it's fine. This could, at the very least, convince the Pokemon Company to make their newer games a bit more entertaining on the surface. So as it stands, I have absolutely no intention of playing this game, and I'm kind of just opposed to it altogether. But I'm glad it's here, and I'm curious to see how this changes things in the future. Maybe not just for Pokemon games in the future, but for IP cases, or if there is AI involved, AI regulation in the future. There's a lot of things that could change because of Palworld, and a lot of that could be good. It's just possible that may come at the cost of Palworld's existence. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Keep conversations respectful. It's okay for people to have different opinions. This is just my take on it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see y'all next time.